Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Generational Wealth Wednesday to each and every one of you. This is some interesting news coming out of from Kinetic Markets. Hex Trust is going to add Hex Trust, the people that hooked up with Flare Networks and hooked up with Ripple. That Hex Trust has decided that they're going to add the Joule token and the KII token from Kinetic Markets. What's going on here? What's going on here? This feels like some kind of way to navigate the stable coins into the Flare ecosystem. What's going on right now? Interesting stuff. Yeah, the Joule token and the KII token. We're going to go over the Medium article from Kinetic Markets. That's interesting to me, fam. That is interesting to me that they're doing that. If you had $100 of FLR, here's what I would do with it. I'm going to share what I would do with $100 of FLR. I mean, you could just add a zero. You just add another zero. You can add two zeros. It's just a reference, What I would do with $100 of FLR in the Flare Network's Flywheel Economy. That's what I would do. Jay Coin is in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? Freaking life is good right now. Life is good. I think the U.S. Open stuff is on. U.S. Open is going on in New York right now. I think that it is. I'm going to share what I would do with $100 of FLR. Going to cover this news. We'll go over CoinGecko as well. Do me a favor, hit that like button. That would be really, really awesome. I don't know if we're going to get another 58 or 57 BTC. I hope you guys had a chance to check out that video that I shared from Dennis from the Virtual Bacon channel. I hope you guys check that video out. Highly recommend it, just for some food for thought, a different perspective of the global picture. I think it's hugely important. So CoinGecko is refreshed. So we're good there. We'll go over those numbers and see what is good. I won't be on here very long, but I did want to share that news. That is very, very interesting to me. Very, very interesting. That's right. Jay Corn said, I woke up on this side of the dirt. Life is good. Yes, sir. Indeed. Indeed, it is. We did some asset minting and redeeming. Hope you guys had a chance to do that sometime today and snatched up the staking rewards. Snatch that up and remind me I got to unstake, man, when that period is over. Because I'm just going to wrap and delegate. Too much kind of stuff kind of going on that I have to pay attention to. 10 days, 15 hours. So I think what I'm going to do is set some kind of alarm for that. So I know 10 days. How many days in August? 31. All right, 10 days. 3. 7th, guess Saturday. I'll add that. I'm going to do this, set a little reminder. I don't know what 15 hours looks like, but we'll 15 hours, 12, 10 in the morning, something like that. We'll do something like that. There it is. The reminder is set. It's set, fam. It's set. All right, let's go over these numbers real quick. I want to share this news from Kinetic about Hex Trust, man. I know Hex Trust and Ripple hooked up. Hex Trust and Flare Networks hooked up. And now this little interesting little play here from Kinetic Markets and Hex Trust with their tokens, Joule token and the KII token. It's fascinating to me. It really, really is. All right, let's go over these numbers from CoinGecko. Because I think that it's definitely different. We'll hear a little bit more from my guy Dennis in that YouTube video I shared with you guys earlier this morning. So according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 1% and is at currently 2.18 trillion. 2.18 trillion. The Bitcoin dominance is over 54%. Bitcoin is trading at $59,158 again. On a 30-day, Bitcoin is down 11%. Ethereum is trading at $2,530 again and is down 23% on the 30-day. Solana is trading at $144 again. And on the 30-day, it's down 21%. XRP is trading at 57 cents again. On the 30-day, it's down 5%. It is down 5%. I'm told that the Open Network Ton blockchain is back up and running. I think Keyless let us know about that on the live stream earlier today. Earlier today. All right. So this, the market is doing what it does, you know. SUI, 82 cents. Aave, $125. I didn't make a move on any of those. Well, SUI, I did. Maker Dow's down 35% on a 7-day. On a 30-day. $1,800. Interesting. It's a very interesting play there. It really, really is. Fascinated by the MakerDAO ecosystem. And Helium, HNT, network, just killing the game. Up 41% on the 30-day is just killing the game. And I hope we got a lot of regular folks in digital asset space that participated in this ecosystem. I hope they're doing really, really, really well. What a story. What a story. Currently at $1 billion market cap. What a story. What is Helium Mobile? I think that token is called Mobile. Let me see something. Helium Mobile. Let's take a look at that. That's kind of like a sub of Helium, HNT, and it's interesting. Okay. 356 for the year. Down 84%. From October of 2023, it's up 14x. From October of 2023, on the year, it's up 356%. What's the tokenomics going on here? 96, 230, 115 million market cap. We'll do some further research on that one. Feels like a deep pen play. Definitely feels like a deep pen play, J-Coin. Really does. Thanks, Gary's in the building, catching the live. Much love and cheers. Appreciate you checking in, Gary. Definitely appreciate you checking in. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. That would be really awesome if you guys could do that. Banner bubbles real quick. See if Banter pulls up. All right, so there it is there. And I think that is on the refresh tip, right? Popcat popping into the meme coin, outdoing pace in Bitcoin. Guess not. Guess it wasn't updated. All right, so there it is there. Okay. Meme coins are doing their thing. Of course, we got the usuals, outperforming Bitcoin. We got Dog with Hat, the WIF token on Solana. We got Brett, the meme coin on base at 8,465%. WIF is 24,000%. Bonk, another meme coin on Solana, 3,000%. Popcat is another meme coin, 3,700%. Sats is an Ordi play, a Bitcoin play. Mantra, 4 figures, man. 4 figures now. 1976. And this is, by the way, this is the top 100 tokens according to market cap. There's a top 200, 500, and there are a few in each of those categories, top 200, top 300, that are outpacing Bitcoin. These are those outpacing Bitcoin in the top 100 in market cap. And again, my thesis is if they're performing or outperforming Bitcoin, they will tend to do so going forward. And do you have those? I don't know if you might consider them or not, but do you have any? Maybe you feel better about your position, your portfolio, if you do happen to have some of these things. Another meme coin is Floki at 291% and Pepe at 298%. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meme coins. AI plays Arweave, BitTensor at 3 figures percentage, 139, 128% perspective. Arweave, BitTensor, Fetch, 3 AIs at 100% or more. Fetch is 155. It's called artificial superintelligence on CoinGecko. Then you got Caspa is layer 1 play, 108%. Solana, L1 play, 210%. And we do have Ondo is the single RWA in the top 100 right here that is outpacing Bitcoin. Let me do, I think you can go categories here. Narrative, smart con, layer 1s, AI, DePIN. Let's do DePIN real quick. These are quote unquote DePIN plays outperforming. Look at NOS. What's NOS? Anybody know? I have no idea what NOS is. None. 6,770%. Gamer hash, we have some of that. 389%. I think we kept our gamer hash token. So yeah, we did. Hopper. Oh no, Hopper's not. It's minus. All right. So Render, Mobile, Helium Mobile, 101% outpacing Bitcoin. Honey is the Solana play. On Solana, it's the it's actually Hive Mapper. But the category here is DePIN. Okay. Again, I don't know. JKL, I've never heard of it. There's our guy, Jasmine. We have Jasmine token. There's Arweave. But AIOZ, I know a lot of people probably have that one. GPU, is that GPO? Is that GPU.net? Let me see that. No, it's Node AI. Okay. It's called Node AI. So that is not GPU.net. Node AI. Interesting to see that there. Very interesting. Maybe we can, I don't know why this thing gets stuck here. You can't close it out. You want to close it out. I don't know why that does that, but you do that thing and you click on something and it just freezes up. But that's something I guess, to think about. Ban of bubbles is always, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna close it out because it's just always doing some stuff here. All right, so that's kind of some food for thought for sure. Let's go listen to our guy, Dennis from the Virtual Bacon channel. And this is a very interesting thing here. He's sharing what we can expect in terms of rate cuts. And an interesting research article or letter called Capital Wars. I probably should get that book, but anyway, let me see where I want to start. Where is he at in this thing here? 36. Why Bitcoin pumps with global liquidity increases. There's 37. What does he talk? Some really good stuff. Let's go here.
Well, on Twitter, people have been circulating these charts called the global liquidity cycle. And this is the global liquidity index. So how this works is I found the original article, global liquidity index. You can Google this title and you'll find it on Financial Times. So what this cycle does is it looks at all kinds of metrics, including the money supply from all the central banks, but also things like local lending from, what is it? Yeah, here, it looks like looks at the U.S. markets, the U.S. Fed's QE or quantitative tightening or quantitative easing. It looks like the Bank of China. It looks at Bank of Japan. It looks like ECB, British Bank, etc. But it also looks at the where is it? Kind of getting hard to find. But yeah, it also looks at the local banks and how much they're lending to their businesses. Let's just say that. I'm not an expert on this, but with those combined, it's able to put together this metric called global liquidity. And typically, this liquidity also cycles, and the cycle period extends every 65 months. Notice how it says 65-month cycle here. And in order to track this, the only way to do this is to subscribe to these guys called Capital Wars. They're actually the inventor of this financial model back in 1998. I want to say this is actually a very, very old school model. And they have kept tracking this for the past like 25 years. Pretty epic, actually. So this is all the data that they have over the past 30 years. And you see, it's not completely accurate, but it does cycle like this. So the dotted chart in red is the 65 months wave of the hypothetical period of this liquidity cycle. And the black line here is the real liquidity cycle based on all the metrics that they take into account, including the central bank liquidity, but also with local lending and credit liquidity. And notice how 2020, this liquidity, the global liquidity, exactly coincided with the pandemic and with how the liquidity injection worked. So when the US Federal Reserve cut interest rates in an instant from 2% to 0% target and started printing very aggressively, we saw this March 2020 sharp increase, followed by topping out in mid-2021 and then sharp fall over that 2-year period where the Federal Reserve was hiking rates. So now this is finally bouncing back. And what's very interesting here is these guys actually look at the sensitivity of different risk-on assets to this metric of global liquidity. So not only do they track this liquidity cycle and give you a perspective of, every 5 years when the asset class, when all risk-on assets tend to bottom out, and when all risk-on assets tend to top out. Very long-term metric. Mm-hmm. But also they look at something called sensitivity to global liquidity shock. This is when each time that there is a 10% increase in global liquidity, all the risk-on assets, what they do in response in price. So you see, you have the S&P, you have commodities, you have gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Notice how Bitcoin, Ethereum are some of the most reflexive assets to this increase in global liquidity. And right here, sensitivity to global liquidity, you have Bitcoin in red, you have...
And isn't it interesting that the two assets that this research paper company has been doing since 1998, they've been doing it, researching and metricing the global liquidity since 98, there's only two assets that they're tracking there in the digital asset space. That you could see they're tracking gold and other things, but in the digital asset space, it was two assets. It was Bitcoin and gold and Ethereum.
Ethereum in orange, and basically you can extend this out to all other cryptos. And then you have the S&P, which is like not as sharp. So this is why, even though the S&P is like already rallying, once this global liquidity starts to come in, from the end of this year until the end of 2025, what's much more likely to pump is actually the crypto market, not S&P, not other traditional markets, because those are not as sensitive to global liquidity. And going back to this original piece by the that's published end of 2023. So the analysts expect the latest liquidity upswing to peak before late 2025. And going back to the oscillations over the past, mapped over that 65 months wave, you see, basically this peaks out right around here, end of 2025.
End of 2025.
This is actually the real liquidity cycle that comes from metrics of liquidity instead of metrics of price. Remember, this black line is, central bank printing and, lending and borrowing going on across the world. These guys are macro experts. They don't look at asset prices for the cycle. Instead, they look at amount of money that people can use to invest, essentially. And that cycle is real because that comes from real metrics. And also here, they have much more data points. They have a much longer history going back to the 1970s. This is the real cycle. And the cycle length is not 4 years. Yes, it kind of coincided with the Bitcoin halving event, which happens every 4 years, because 2020 just so happened because of COVID. Boom, we have a global liquidity cycle rush. And then Bitcoin halving just so happened to be 2020. And also in 2016, Bitcoin halving event happened basically right here. And this was right around the top of the global liquidity cycle. That's it. Like, that's the only 2 times that it has coincided. Going back to 2012, it gets even more thrown off. This explains much more clearly to me why the Bitcoin cycles, they always kind of sometimes extend, sometimes they shorten. It's because the cycles are not based on Bitcoin halving events and random date extrapolations around the Bitcoin halving events. Instead, they're based on the macro global liquidity cycles, which I'm not an expert of, but I just use this to keep track of. And they're based on what the central banks are doing, what the US Federal Reserve is doing, which is they announce their federal fund rate target, and then they start printing money or burning money. And then
yeah, and it makes perfectly good sense. But I just want to share some bits and pieces from my guy, Dennis. I'll leave this link for you guys in the chat if you want to check it out. Check out the whole thing for sure. Again, it's so important to get the bigger picture, Legendary says, holy moly, crypto sees twice in one day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alex G says, I hope Flare can take us to generational wealth. Me too, bro. Me too. It's an economy going on there. It's an economy, flywheel economy going over there. I'm liking what I'm seeing overall. I think everything about that flywheel economy there, what's the word I want to use? It promotes longevity, stickability, retention, all those different things. It's really, really, really cool. It really is cool. I really do think it's going to be really awesome. All right, so let's go over the article. Let's go over this news from Kinetic Markets that came out a day ago. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Hex Trust. We all know Hex Trust from partnership with Flare Networks, partnership with Ripple. This is interesting to me, guys. It says Hex Trust adds the Joule token and the KII token to Hex Safe. DeFi custody on Flare. Well, what does that really mean? Hex Trust, a leading digital asset custodian, has announced the integration of Kinetic's Joule and KII tokens into Hex Safe, their state-of-the-art custody platform. Why are tokens from a startup lending market platform adding, this is an established custody place, why are they adding the Joule token and the KII token? This move signifies a significant step forward in enabling secure custody of digital assets on Flare. Okay. What benefits? Who benefits from Hex Safe? Hex Safe is designed for institutional investors, fund managers, and high net worth individuals who prioritize security and regulatory compliance in their digital asset management. The Joule token and the KII token. Institutional investors, fund managers, and high net worth individuals. These users seek a platform that offers robust security. Hex Safe employs advanced security measures, including multi-sig wallets, hardware secure modules, and comprehensive risk management protocols. Regulatory compliance. Hex Trust adheres to stringent regulatory standards, providing peace of mind to users concerned with legal compliance. User-friendly interface. Okay. All right. Security and opportunity converge with Joule. The addition of Joule, the native token for the Kinetic lending protocol on Flare, represents the merging of top-tier security with vast DeFi opportunities. As the DeFi market continues to evolve on the Flare network, users can now securely custody their Joule tokens via Hex Safe and leverage the benefits offered by the innovative ecosystem. This is fascinating to me. The Flare network is renowned for its robust security infrastructure, notably its Flare Time Series Oracle, which ensures accurate and decentralized data feeds. This reliability is crucial for the stability and trustworthiness of DeFi. Okay. Lending and borrowing of F assets. Hex Safe clients can now explore new avenues for participation in DeFi through Wallet Connect and MetaMask Institutional, such as lending and borrowing of stablecoins, SFLR, and pending integration of Hex Trust own Flare native USDX, and pending integration of Hex Trust own Flare native USDX and F assets like Flare's wrapped Bitcoin. This functionality is ideal for those looking to maximize the potential of their digital assets without compromising on security. I remember back in the day when there was a lot of talk about Flare in more institutions. But this is interesting to me. I've never heard of MetaMask Institutional. Don't know what that is. Lending and borrow of stablecoins, the SFLR token, and pending integrations of Hex Trust owned Flare native USDX. Interesting. As security and decentralization advance, traditional concepts like wrapping assets are being redefined. This evolution is particularly relevant for the vast potential of Bitcoin, which currently boasts a market cap of approximately 1.31 trillion. The integration of Joule and KII into Hex Safe exemplifies this progression, offering a more secure and efficient way to utilize F assets. To utilize these F assets set to debut on Flare. Staking Joule and custodying as KII. With Hex Safe, users can stake Joule and custody it as KII. The KII token is an integral part of the Kinetic protocol, allowing suppliers and borrowers to earn back up to 75% of the fees they pay in interest, which is paid in the protocol token. Additionally, key holders can participate in governance by voting. We know that direct further advancements of the Kinetic protocol. Voters are compensated for the participation, increasing active involvement in protocol's development. And, institutional adoption of peer-to-peer lending. Institutional adoption of peer-to-peer lending. That sounds very, very familiar. The inclusion of Joule and KII in Hex signifies a notable advancement in the institutional adoption of peer-to-peer lending. Historically, institutions have been cautious, but increasingly open to leveraging peer-to-peer platforms for diversification. This adoption is beneficial not only for the institutions themselves, but also for the broader DeFi. By bringing substantial liquidity, institutions help to create functioning and dynamic markets, thus providing more opportunity for all participants. This is how RippleX sees it. This is exactly how they see it. So anyway, the Kinetic lending protocol on Flare has been developed with all users in mind, from retail to institutional participation. Its design ensures that even the highest tier users, known as diamond tier members, enjoy benefits that offer them the flexibility to participate on their terms. This inclusivity ensures that the platform can cater to a wide range of needs, fostering a vibrant and active ecosystem. So there that is. That is interesting. Legendary says, I'm not sure why they're on there, but I've been stacking Joule and KII for the past month. Nice. Legendary, that paragraph on lending and borrowing is mind-blowing. If it's going to happen like that, we are so set up for the future. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Interesting. Again, I know this is Ripple's vision. I know this is Ripple's vision. Legendary says, I'm a gold working on becoming a diamond member. Nice, bro. What's going on, Eric G? How are you? So that's the news, man. I wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's massive. It's fascinating how they're working it. It really, really is. All right. Yes, please. Fascinating. That they're doing that. It's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating. Where are we with the lending protocol integration into the XRPL? And I know about something called Lotus Protocol, the app, but where's that lending protocol integration on the XRPL? No, thank you. So it's interesting about this Flare in the ledger. You can do stuff with the ledger for your staking, but just to let you know, that is up and it is it's running. All right. So let's see. What would I do personally with $100 worth of FLR? It's kind of what I would do personally. This is what I would do. I would swap that wrapped FLR. First of all, once I get the FLR, I would wrap it, delegate it, right? Wrapping and delegating, get the rewards, get the Flare drops. So you get the weekly rewards, and it makes that FLR eligible for the Flare drops, right? Now, me personally, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I would personally swap the FLR for SFLR, which is Scepter SFLR. Because right now you can't, you have to wait to stake on Scepter, the platform itself. But SparkDex has enough SFLR, so you can just do it there. That's personally what I would do, and what I'm doing is I'm swapping the wrapped FLR for Scepter FLR. Right? So I can take advantage of the SFLR 40-something% APR on Scepter, right? I forgot to put Scepter up here. Should I put that up here? Let's see. SCEPTRE. No. I don't know what it is. Let's see. And I don't use it on this thing. Let me see something here. Let me get that link. Right? Right? Let's do this. See how it says the staking's closed from the 15th until the 7th of September, right? So what you can do is just swap it on SparkDex. Right? You just swap it on SparkDex there. But this APYs, you know, pretty good. Staking's closed. But if you're able to stake here, it's like 44 or something percent, 44%, right? That's right there. Estimated 44%. So by swapping it on SparkDex into SFLR is what I would do, what I am doing. And then I'm going to go to Kinetic and take the SFLR and just supply it for now. Just supply it for now. And supply the max. And just supply that to on Kinetic. And you know, I would imagine a little portfolio management. You get some more FLR, and you wrap it, delegate it. You perhaps swap it in SparkDex to SFLR, and maybe you split that 100 up into SFLR and WSFLR. Oh man, I forgot. This is my and provide liquidity on SparkDex. You could do that with another $100 of SFLR or FLR that you get. Transaction is completed. Yes, I think that initial request was approved and the second one was supplied. Right? Right? Approve and supply, baby. Baby. Right? Approve and supply there. And there it is. Let me see. Let me close it. Can I close it? Yeah, so just a little bit, right? That's like $100 right there. Supply total 138. That's just kind of some options to do some stuff. Get part the emissions for being on SparkDex, part of the emissions for being on Scepter. Being on Kinetics. You're getting emissions also for staking, quote unquote, or having stake or SFLR as well. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right? Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Couldn't see anything screen. What? You couldn't see anything? Uh-oh. I wonder why you couldn't see anything. Hold on. Let me do that again. Ah, the browser didn't come up. Why didn't my browser come up? All right. Let's let's do that again. Gary says he couldn't see anything. All right, let me do the share. Let me do share. Do that. To break. Oh, there it is. Break browser. Okay. So anyway, $100 worth of FLR, right? You can go to SparkDex. First, you wrap it and delegate it. It would have some wrap FLR here on SparkDex that I assign. Have your wrap FLR, right? And then you swap that. Is what I did is I swapped it into SFLR, right? Just 100% max, $100, $100 of SFLR. That's what I ended up getting right there is SFLR for doing that, right? Again, that SFLR gives you that nice APY for your stuff, right? Which is really, really nice. You're using SparkDex, and you own some SFLR tokens, and I'm taking those SFLR tokens. This is not financial advice, and I'm just supplying, not borrowing against, I'm just supplying. And eventually, depending upon the amount that you supply and or lend, you're going to be getting rewards. And then there'll be a point where you have enough kind of like Joule tokens that you can stake and earn this APY. And, it's kind of like, I don't want to say free, but hey, you earn rewards for supplying and lending. You earn rewards for supplying and lending, right? Which is really, really nice. Now, I just put like $20 on here the other day for some stuff. You can see the emissions rewards right here. You can see the little Joule and stuff that you earn and the key tokens that you earn, key or Joule, right? It's pretty cool to see the rewards there. And there's something about this Joule token now I'm learning. The fact that this is going to be part of the Hex safe to me. Wow, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Supplying and borrowing, again, if you're new to it, maybe you just want to start out here with just supplying. You can do these assets here, SFLR, WFLR, USDT, and Flare. Now, I already had wrapped FLR, but I wanted the SFLR to take advantage of what Scepter has going on there, right? It's an interesting flywheel. Again, yeah, it's interesting. Again, I wish I had more of the FLR tokens from Celsius. I wish I had those, but I don't. And this flywheel has me really, really, really kind of amped up. Has me kind of amped up. Let me see here. Has me kind of amped up. Uh-oh, storming in Tejas again. GDLT's in the building. What's going on, bro? The OG is here. How are you, brother? So look, it looks good. Looks good. Pay me an SRP, FXRP says all these rewards and flare drops are basically DCAing for me. It's almost insane to think about, especially considering the assets has yet to explode in price. I am salivating. Yeah, it's like it's a compounding thing that you're able to kind of leverage because of the emissions, because of the flare drops. And this is what I was saying, pay me FXRP, when I did my drive down video yesterday, the day before, was that the alts, they just about have the same type of opportunity to 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x, right? They all have about the same opportunity in that little window that they get the crazy banana zone that Raul Paul talks about. But how many of those tokens have a flywheel economy to them? We just heard from my guy Dennis from Virtual Bacon Channel that there's going to be some quantitative easing. There's going to be some M2 money supply going on because of the pivot on hitting this particular interest rate, which is the Fed funds rate, right? We just got a nice big picture of what global liquidity does for the digital asset space. This is something that Rob Paul has been talking about for at least 9-10 months, has been sharing with the community, did a 2-hour plus long video about it in May, posted it in May. You see how all the things are kind of coming together? They're all kind of coming together, making a lot of sense. GLTs are stacking up the staking rewards and waiting to cash them out. Stacking up the staking rewards. Nice. Right? It's just a nice flywheel, and it feels as though that it falls right along with our DeFi premise, where we're participating in DeFi as a business. We treat it as a business, right? An economy in which we have a business. An economy in which we have a business. Remember, when we participate in DeFi, we're providing a service of staking, lending, borrowing. We're providing a service when we enter into that, right? Eric G says, facts. Crypto sees the conversations on this channel is a logical business discussion. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And that's the hope. That's the hope. Really, really is. That is really the hope for sure. So I hope that makes sense to you. I tried to subscribe to that Substack so that I could go over that with you guys. Right now, I think it's like $75 a month that he was going over there with the global liquidity from that book, which is probably 90. They've been doing this since, I think, 98, but they've been tracking it. They've been doing this since 98, but they've been tracking the global liquidity. They have stats from Substack. The guy, it's called Capital Wars. Where is it? And I think Michael Howe has a book. Let me share this real quick. Something about global liquidity. I think he has a book. But this is it here. Missed it there. What was that? Interesting that he found that. And I tried subscribing to that. I tried subscribing, and you see here, $75 a month, $750 a year. The free one, you get to read a few sentences, but that is about all. That is about all. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I'm gonna try and see if I can find the book. Maybe it'll be telling in there as well, but the charts were great. That's not gonna work. Source. Capital Wars. But in any case, it was really, really good. I'm hoping you click on this article, you can't get too much to it. It's just kind of that there, even if you use the even if you do the Substack, what is it? The article, if you just try to read the article as well. So this is something that I think is nice. I really do think, and it's very, very informative. I'm gonna try to get that book for you guys. I'm gonna try to get the book for you. Read some more of it as well. We got going on here. The conversations, love that. Appreciate that. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me do something here real quick. All right. So guys, yeah, again, fascinating stuff. Had to get some wine from Miss Crypto Siege. I'm telling you, GDLT, it's an interesting flywheel economy going on with Flare Networks. It's interesting. And it really just kind of, the flywheel thing didn't hit me, but what really hit me is navigating around how many layer ones and their ecosystem has a flywheel to it. I know that the XRPL talks about having one. We don't have anything established yet to kind of hint or point to yet. Right? We don't have it yet. Right. And so I'm hoping that it's coming between Orchestra and Moy, whatever Lotus is going to bring. Obviously, Ripple has a partnership, and if you will, with Hex Trust as well. We're going to see what that's going to look like, but we have an example to point to here. And I just think, I mean, the FLR token, I don't know. I feel like it'll perform in the alt season over the next few months with this M2 supply happening. I don't know why it would perform. It has the same shot as everything else. It has the same shot as Ondu in the RWA space. It has the same shot as Gamer Hash in the AI gaming space. It has the same opportunity as Solana. It has the same opportunity as BitTensor, right? Has the same opportunity as Polytrade, as Node AI, right? You see what I'm saying? But how many of those can you point to say, for the next, what are we in? September, October, November, December, for the next 14 months, this is what I'll be rewarded for participating. And remember, Flare has dedicated 20 billion FLR tokens to incentivize 20 billion. And right now it's 515 that they're dishing out. 515 million. It's 515 million right now that they're dishing out. Of the 20 billion. I mean, think about that, guys. Think about that. Hit that like button for me, please. That'd be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. It's really, really, really cool. Anyway, something I'm thinking about for sure, because that's a pretty nice little flywheel going on right now. You know, I mean, if there was something to do with dirty, nasty fiat, I don't know. I mean, just kind of given that FLR is going to participate in the alt season as well. I don't know if it's going to do only a 4x or if it's going to do a 40x. I don't know. I don't know what Solana is going to do from here. I know what it's done, but I don't know if it's going to do a 5, 7, 10x. I don't know. I don't know what Ondu Finance is going to do in the heat of this thing, but I think they all have a shot to do something. Right? And if I'm taking $100, I'm just saying, thinking out loud, $100 FLR, I'm wrapping it and delegating, I'm getting those rewards. And because I wrapped it, I'm getting flare drops. That $100 worth of FLR is now eligible for the flare drops. Right? And if I go over to SparkDex and swap it for SFLR, I don't know if a swap means you're going to get anything, but as opposed to providing liquidity on SparkDex. But if I swap it into SFLR, that staked SFLR, Scepter SFLR, is now eligible for the emissions. And the Scepter rewards of 44 approximately APY. Approximately. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't, I don't want to use this phrase, but it feels like if you just keep getting more FLR with your dirty, nasty fiat, you just keep getting more FLR. And right now, at present, I don't know of any ecosystem doing it. I don't know. There might be, but I'm not aware of any that has this kind of thing going on at this kind of level. Flare drops and emissions. SparkDex getting some really good APYs in their liquidity pools. Not pretty good, really good when you consider not just fees, but also emissions. And they're just getting started. SparkDex just getting started, Kinetic just getting started, Scepter just getting started, and Gnosis has been around for a minute. TVL is just it feels like it's just gonna continue to grow. More and more of the word gets out. And what if the word gets out about the flywheel economy going on over there? That's the best form of advertising is word of mouth. Flare Networks has to do their part. They're doing emissions. They're incentivizing participation. Now they got to make sure that things are working correctly, right? That they, the FTSO is working correctly, right? You got to make sure that stuff works. When the FS that thing come out, right? You got to get it working, right? I understand there'll probably be a kink or two, just like anything launching, but right? Yeah, it's interesting. Just I don't know. It's just kind of some food for thought, fam. Just some food for thought. It really is interesting. It really is interesting. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think I mean, I don't know, 20 billion FLR tokens. And right now, this initial phase is just 500 million. It's hard to get the 20 billion at 500 million a pop. That's a few liquidity incentive events right there. And I love the Cosmos ecosystem because I always pointed out, you're staking and you become eligible for these airdrops of new projects that can, do a thing. That may do a thing, every now and then you get an airdrop of Celestia or the Dimension that go out there and do some stuff. But you don't get that every week. You don't get it twice a week. You don't get it every month. You know what I'm saying, Legendary? You don't get it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting right now. Yeah. Anyway, there it is. I'm thinking out loud. Apologize, but it's how many did you guys get what I'm saying there in terms of here's this FLR token. You can wrap it, delegate it, eligible for not only delegation rewards, but also flare drops. You take it to SparkDex, so you can swap it into SFLR. And then you're now adding an APY to the concept of approximately 44%. And then you can lend it. I mean, it's only, I think, I don't want to say only, but I think it's like 1 point something percent for supplying. But you're going to be getting emissions. It's a flywheel. It really is a flywheel. It's a nice compounding scenario there. It's fascinating. All right, fam. So there it is. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Interesting news coming from Kinetic and integration into the Hex safe with Hex Trust. Interesting news. I want to share that. Guys, do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That would be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes on the stream as we have viewers in the stream. That'd be really, really cool. And if you happen to be in that 50% or so of people hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Siege, and you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you've been enjoying us hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to get that number from 50% down to about 25%. If you could just hit that subscribe button right now, and you can help us with making that happen, that would be really, 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 really cool. Really, really cool. So listen, I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you.